Okay, this is how Iranian women dressed in the 1970s. It's revealed in old magazines and fashion magazines and stuff of the age. This is done by a woman, Julia Televacute, and it's under history and style, but it's kind of a contrast and I guess, rebuttal to the article that I had also just shown recently, where they're trying in the UK to make it all okay for people to wear burqas and things, or to have this hidden identity going around, which is a large major portion of why they don't do it, but or don't accept it or want it to happen. But also, when in Rome, you do as the Romans do, and you don't try to counterculture the place, which is really the problem with all the immigration. It doesn't seem like people are trying to do what they said they were trying to do, and in fact, it seems to be almost the opposite in some cases. But that's neither here nor there. I don't want to get too political about the whole thing. I just want to show you what these beautiful Aryan women from Persia through Iran kind of used to look like, and how they used to dress, and how fashionable they were before they were put in the burqas that we see today. Now, she says Iran before the Islamic Revolution of 1979 was quite a different country from one that we see today. It was secular, Western oriented, and allowed a certain amount of cultural freedom. It might be shocking today to know, but women of that time also took a modern approach when it came to fashion. They would dress up just like their Western counterparts and would even show some skin. These old magazine scans show us a rough idea of what a woman would wear at that time. Today, the women's dress code in Iran is way more conservative than back in the 1970s, to say the least. They need to cover their hair, necks, and arms. Nevertheless, Iranian women are generally stylish and tend to use colorful outfits still. Well, let's take a look at some of these old pictures, and I guess some of these can be quite revealing and stuff. But you're seeing a girl in a mini skirt. Now, of course, she's even showing quite a bit of cleavage. Auburn type of hair, beautiful makeup job and stuff onto her, fingernails and things, and something that looks kind of Western go-go boots. Not sure what that has to do. Here's a girl wearing a vest, but nothing on other than that. And these were in fashion magazines and stuff. Now, I'm sure that, like in fashion in America, where they show these outlandish stuff where people wouldn't wear it, Lady Gaga outfits and so on. But they're trying to get a concept across. This, I'm sure somebody would put a tighter fitting shirt, like, hey, imagine if you just took this pink shirt, it's kind of tight fitting, and you put that on under this and then put on the vest. Wouldn't that be fantastic? As long as it went with your other colors, right, girls? Anyhow, so let's look at some of these women from there. Well, first you can see this fair-haired, nice, beautiful Bond girl almost here on the left, and here she is in some giant go-go boots, and I don't know if that's exactly her or not. That may be just a wig setting or something, but that may be another artist altogether. And where she seems to be here is in Persia. This is at the tomb of Cyrus the Great in Persepolis, right near it. And yeah, I think I do. She's standing on top of one of those giant lamassus. This one's still existent there, and so is his tomb and some of the ruins that are there. So, strangely, I guess I can interject here. The other video that we were talking about, they were talking about how women used to wear shawls, and so they should be a lot more accepting of burqas. And I guess you could understand that, but people don't use the shawl thing anymore because there was an edict in the early church that women, it was something that was too sexual, kind of like what's seen today under those people. So I guess they're trying to say see, but no, it was under false pretenses, and the fact that someone thought that the men couldn't control themselves in some way, shape, or form if a woman was to have revealed her hair, that when a woman let down their hair, it's just a little too much. Well, I think these people at this time liked the fact that a woman to look very conservative and look like a secretary, or look like a school marm type thing, but then pow, let down their hair, and that effect still kind of comes on today. And whenever your wife, who works and does everything, all of a sudden gets snappied up and puts on a nice outfit and really puts on her makeup nice, pow. So, these people wanted pow. Everybody wants pow and so on, but a lot of people nowadays are like living pow, and that's kind of weird. And sometimes it gets just to be a little too over sexual. But it's strange how we take things like that. You can be at a beach all day and girls will be wearing something that looks like underwear, but then you have anything that even looks slightly revealing not at a beach, and it's just, oh, controversial. Well, you shouldn't go around naked anyhow, and women were supposed to be somewhat conservative. Now, the Caucasian women of like the Bible and all that area there had this edict that they were to keep their women pale, and the women did so. And this was a way of showing that they didn't have to work, that they didn't have to toil and do things like that. And it can be shown reflected in the Bible where a girl even apologizes for it, quite often misused. It says, "Do not look upon me, O Israel, for I am dark yet comely." And so I'm still pretty even though I've got a tan. And people say, "No, that ain't a tan," or everything. Oh, no, 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 listen. And she's actually apologizing to pale people, if people understand the moment here. Do not, oh, I'm still pretty though I got a tan. The next line tells you, "For the sun hath looked upon me." So she had gotten tanned. The next line, even more revealing, it says, "For my brothers made me work out in the vineyards and stuff, and I ended up with a tan, but hey, I'm still pretty." So these fair women and stuff, and fair skinned and all that type of thing. I think we realized coming into science, though, that if you keep a woman too pale or away from the sun, it's bad for bone structure and things like that because they need vitamin D3. So there have to be some limits to it. Not that you either run around in a bikini, nor would you wear a burqa or things. But the shawl idea has to go with the sexualness that they thought had to do with hair, even pubic hair and so on. And so they had this edict that was there that women were to go into the church covering their hair, like you see Mother Mary and so on. But that can get taken out of context. They show in the other video a bunch of women in foggy London drizzle, all having shawls on and things like that. And it's like, yeah, during that time most of the women carried an extra shawl. They were also handy dandy. They had a couple wrapped around their neck and stuff, and their body adornment. They were kind of well turned for the weather that was there and stuff, and it was a way to cover themselves up but be feminine whenever they did it. Anyhow, so you can look here. Oh, it's kind of blasphemous here. She's just crotching this symbol right here that's there, and that's a temple sign. This is the hidden door. So, kind of strange. People could find some symbology in it. But yeah, here's the Persians. Here we're looking at the ancient thing. The Persians were ancient Aryans, by the way. It's King Darius himself says so. And even Herodotus says that the Persians were called Aryans before Persis had come to them from Athens, and they changed their name. So that was some of the people, and of course Greeks named a lot of places, but that's some of the ways that people ended up getting the name that you see today, and what was it called before, and so on. And some of these people didn't almost name themselves. They were the people of an area, and you were the people of that area. All these ancient things we go into in a lot of my other videos. But look at this fancy stuff. Go-go boots, silver mylar go-go boots on a saffron yellow and boots. And I don't want to start selling some kind of saffron, or some kind of a fashion dude or whatever off of it, or go gay on you or anything here. But that's some nice outfits, and this is the 70s here, people. Look at these cool sandals and stuff going on. Of course, look at this cool daisy and the symbols of life and stuff that go with this sun worshiping people. It's pretty freaking amazing. She even looks like an actress. I swear, I forget what her name is. She's in a movie with y'all may know what I'm talking about, but you can see how these women look, and they had lipstick and things like that they would do, hair fashions, side twist, all types of things that you would not know if they had a burqa on, of course, in any way, shape, or form. And these dresses that were real flowy and free, and this Persian look here, India influenced Persian look type thing, in the Aryan situation. And of course you can see that with the domes and their architecture. Got a video about that here recently too. But if we look hard enough, we might find some symbology that goes with that. But yeah, so it's kind of neat. But you can still see this is kind of modern fashion, because that leg don't look like this leg, and where's this camo come out of nowhere from? But it's the colors of the sky and clouds and stuff too. Long hair, and then ponytailed at the end and stuff. Even a ring banglet around her ankle. So pretty neat stuff. Here's just a close-up of one of the other pictures that you see there, and it's really little bitty flowers, almost a snowflake pattern. So kind of neat. You think they don't get snow around there. There are mountains there that get snow. They don't get near as much rainfall and humidity and precipitation as used to happen there, and the floods and things that used to happen there a lot. The whole center band of the earth around the equator is getting much drier right through that area. It's believed that whenever they cut down all the forest in primordial times, in the ancient sacred forest, to burn and to make all of the things that they needed to do, that it started a problem, kind of like a Dust Bowl, Oklahoma. But that's kind of depressing and not to talk about during a woman's fashion show. Check this out, though. Isn't it neat how they're kind of, a lot of them are blonde and lighter and fair haired? And this look here and this look here, and they have these woven sandal things on their legs. It almost looks ancient Greek. And of course, Greek and Persia have a big thing, went all the way back, and Alexander the Great and all that stuff too. But from long before that, and Silk Roads and things like that, it goes back to a long, long time before people are willing to think of naturally in their mind. But yeah, and even blue and white, and those seem to be the colors of Greece. But just colors of clouds and the cloud people. But it's also the color of quite a few of them's eyes. Here's a neat effect where you can see somebody bicoloring their hair way back then. Hopefully this shows up in there, where she's got a blonde hair, but she's darkened the tip of it here that runs down. I think there's another picture of her that looks like that, but look at the outfit that she's wearing. And it's kind of a half sassy skirt, kind of whatever. Yeah, it's kind of neat. Cool fashion. Gold laced in between there. Pseudo see-through from the knee down. That's kind of cool, and she almost has that look like the Never-Ending Story girl with the little thing around there, and of course that adding to her face. And I believe this was before that movie came out, but just looking at that, she has that look of that princess from the Never-Ending Story. They're off in these temples here and stuff, and you can see the ancient Aryan people that were there. Not so much as same as the others, but India influences and so on. Man, if you look real hard, there's some symbols in these temples that show you some ancient Aryan symbols, swastikas and things along that line. But look at this peak. What do you call it? A chiffon dress, ladies, or whatever. Look at this, and it's it's way up the knee, past the knee, quite pretty, but collared around the neck, so it still has that in the desert kind of look. But that's kind of wicked. Kind of looks neat. Other looks they've come up with. I mean, look at this whole fashion show concept. And you'll never see this again. I don't know if you could just cover her face up and this would be okay. But, so this hidden aspect of their women and stuff. This is real neat. Kind of a Queen of the Forest kind of looking thing that looks pretty cool. And big fuzzy hair. And again, she's got a symbol here, almost like the dot of India, if you will. And seems to be doing a temple dance here, and this almost has that flair of like, the Caribbean and stuff, where the girls have those pom-pom dresses that they dance with during Carnival and such. This is outdoor temple area right next to the main temple, and yeah, so I think this is that same picture from before, but this is a different one too. Real nice, and this long pom-pom of hair that she's grown out for years and years. Yep, and Arabic writing here over the side of it. Sanskrit seems. And a lot of these temples, you can definitely see the architecture is pretty neat. But then again, we're not focusing on that. Let's look at these dresses and stuff and this cowboy fringe that's going on in this sag dress that looks like a curtain sag, if you will. Whatever that concept's called, ladies, I don't know. But kind of adding two things together, given this, that's just wicked looking, And so incredible fashion they had back at that time. Look at this, and the bright colors and the designs that you see, and the variations. I mean, everything doesn't seem like it's all like one stuck line type thing. It's quite a bit different. Here's one of those dresses. I forget what they call this. I think they at one time called it an ostrich dress. But so it's a full covering thing that's like a poncho. And then here's one with ostrich feather type thing that has like a, whatever you call that thing. It's like the layer, that flu that they have and stuff. My daughters had some whenever they were kids and stuff. And but yeah, long-legged wear, pants and such. Again, with these Grecian-looking sandal ideas all buckled up, giving you that idea. The 60s. This is late 60s. Through the 70s ideas they had here, and a lot of them again have that India dot type things. You can see influences. Remember, here's another form of bicolor hair where the back part is all dark but everything out front is light, just fringing her face. It's kind of neat too, and you can see the India banding type thing in here, and the mix of that Persian, Indian, Aryan thing all put together. these cool sandals she's got. They're probably not the most, I don't know, appropriate type thing or the easiest to walk in than the others, but they look quite unique. Look here, just mini skirts and wearing stockings and I don't know what Top Cat's got to do with it. Is that Top Cat from the ancient cartoons? And man, I mean, this rivals anything. So here's a kind of a half ethnic type of man here that has that look again to him, Grecian colors and blue and white, but having that ethnic look to him. And then the woman here is very scantily clad, almost some kind of Bo Derek situation, and they are in the snow. So I don't know if you look around, he's apparently one of their soccer players from back then in the 70s. Someone might know in the comments. Soccer ball, and then they're out here, and she's apparently one of the fashion people, and they're out here in the snow doing this fashion thing that's in one of these magazines. Back then in America, there was a whole lot of Farrah Fawcett and Charlie's Angels and all those little magazines that were putting out all that type of stuff, and when we were going around getting photo shoots and all this stuff for everything, and you can see that reflected in something almost looks like a I don't know, Liza Minnelli type look and stuff that goes on here, and classic looks that they're pulling off too, and the most mini of velvet skirts and high pumps and hairdos and so on of these girls that look not like what you think is up under one of those burqas, really, and very elegant. You look at some of this fashion stuff that they have going on in some of these, it's quite elegant. Oh, here's one that's kind of neat. Look at her hair and how it's done up kind of like a temple, a little temple top and everything. So they were into fashion hair and everything too. But now imagine this. Take this same girl, what she's wearing here, little bent up halter top, blue jeans, little blue jean jacket thing here. Let's just let's take off these white pearls and white earrings, okay? Let's let her hair down flat and just let it hang down. Just let it hang. Go out and jump in the swimming pool, shake it out, comb it flat, stop. Now let's put a peace sign around her neck, and that's a hippie chick. So they really had that going on type of thing. Who wears short shorts? She wears short shorts. Yep, getting good tans and stuff. Look at that compared to her arms and so on. But you can see her arm is much tanner than her face. She's tried to stay somewhat pale, but then it was a thing. And of course, it's good to get some tan. These people are all ancient sun worshippers, for Christ's sake. Badunch, the sun god. Blonde hair, but then these looks that very much looks like some kind of European van type thing, Vanguard cinemas type stuff. This is way before any type of Bollywood type situation or anything they had going over there. They had their own type of cinema and style, and you can see, look at the 60s go-go boots thing and stuff. And this is the Iranian Raquel Welch. And look, there's thick belt ideas, and look how short shorts, little, prints and so on onto it, but not having a problem showing legs, showing some skin. This girl here being very modest, putting her hand there at the side of it, and that's one of the shortest skirts I've ever seen. That's one that you couldn't sit in a chair facing somebody with. Yeah, so that's a problematic skirt. So you're getting all the way to problematic skirts. Oh, and a crushed velvet top too. So yeah, and big pumps, high heels, big pumps. So people think, they didn't ever have that type of sexy thing, and women should be all covered up. But wasn't it in the older times that a woman would do a dance of 7 veils? And they'd also have these sexy things and stuff. Look, here's an ancient depiction of twerking right here. And something tells me that the music goes bow chicka bow now, chicka bow now. And look, here's very much a Pamela Anderson or elfish chick, blue eyes, blonde hair, and she's a chick hatching out of an egg. This is an Easter thing, and we're talking about Easter and eggs and its symbology all in the area, and how it had a sexual connotation to it, and the rites of spring and everything. And right there it is. But you don't think about that as being what could be up under a burqa. Kind of strange, but yeah, this is Julia Televacute, and she's done a bunch of articles and stuff, but it seems like most of her articles are about fashion and fashion trends and so on. And here's a fashion trend thing, but it kind of goes a secondary note against, like, the idea of maybe people in the West should be a little bit more conservative. Well, from the 60s that we're looking at to now, we pretty much have, except for you have those outlandish people, you know, like your Miley Cyruses and your other people that are wearing something that's damn near nasty, you know, and it seems like that it's almost done that way on purpose. It's not trying to be on vogue, it's trying to be on nasty, and it's a little different. And if they can just get your attention and get you talking about it, wanting it, thinking about it, and then now we have you corrupting your mind, don't we? So there is a conservatism of idea, but you can be conservative in your own mind. The West has been able to do this within short generations of time, realize that no, that wasn't the point of things, and hair wasn't the thing about anything either. But you know, quite often a woman that has her hair up like this can let it down, and we saw what her hair looks like let down in the other pics. But also look at these women too, and how they don't really depict what you'd normally think of. Now, are we going to try to say these aren't Iranian women? Well, this is Iranian Women, Iranian Fashion Magazine, and I'm pretty sure that the researcher here has gone through the trouble of finding out that, you know, these are all Iranian women. And so isn't that a little bit different than people think of too? But this has only happened since that, you know, the Shah got taken over, and this time that we're talking about here, and everything radically changed, and women all of a sudden had to get into their burqas and things like that. Let me show you I just, for fun, how I found this was from the other one and from this, which I think you recognize that one. But this is from the fashion magazine thing, and then what we're looking at here, let me just go back up to the top and I'll roll down a little bit. I don't want to go too much into this, but now we're looking at Iranian women, and these are Iranian women around the world, not necessarily in Iran, okay? But they all are Persian and Iranian women, like this Iraqi blogger, Central Hot Persian Iranian Women. Now, they get in trouble for this crap. Her name is Yasmin Khoury. She gets in trouble for this crap. Well, she would in her own country. And there's another shot. That's not the same girl. She's Angel Martine. No, that's Martine. She's okay. It's not a Persian, but the other ones, because that's what I kind of pulled up as Iranians. And you can see these people now. They have to wear a hijab and go to swim and stuff, but they can still do that. But back in older times, they didn't do that so much. Boom. Sorry. Boom. And yeah, those have got to be fake. But Iranian women used to dress like that in bikinis. So there's Iranian women in bikini, and I guess here's the stark reality. Here's a tourist, and here's an Iranian woman. This is what the Iranian women will wear now. And you could say you're trying to keep out of the sun and do all these things, but your hand's not getting dark either. You're not spending much time ever out in the sun. She hasn't either, but she's wearing a bikini. Well, how naked should you be when you go swimming? I don't know. Some people get totally naked, but then again, we're not on a beach in Saint-Tropez or anything either. But what's this? Iran old picture, beach. And yeah, these brunettes and guys out here all swimming and playing in the surf. I don't know exactly where that's at, but there's the same group, so it kind of shows you the difference of the two. Anyhow, there was a couple of pictures. There's a lot of them in bikinis, and yeah, guys, ha ha ha. This picture is from that same exact thing, article that I showed you, where we've put it together, and that's one of the same women. And old cinema that they had back then and stuff is, much more aggressive. The people there used to be incredible mathematicians and astrologers. In fact, like 1/4 of the stars were charted by them in ancient times. They were hooked up by ancient people who used to be mariners, who were deep into this astrology too, and they were helped out by this class of people that I've talked about in all of my videos. And then at one point there was this revolt, and they thought that all numerology and things were bad, and they really lost the acceleration they had going. They were incredible people at one time, and you see a lot of that reflected in what happened. But then they've come to freedom again here. But then whenever you go through the Shah and the Ayatollah of Iran, and stuff that happened out of that, then you don't necessarily have that so much. Um, that's not the one, but this is Miss Iran in the Miss World competition of a couple of years ago. But I don't know. Let me just say something terrible for the women here. Sometimes women don't want to, if they're slightly heavy, they don't want to go out and stuff and everything. But hey, this is the normal woman, and yeah. Well, what's strange about that photo shoot that we were looking at is that in the dirt right around there, I can show you a statue. If we dug it all up, I'd find a little statuette of a woman that's twice this heavy, at least, generally cupping her boobs. And it's an ancient fertility rite, and it's at the temple. So people have gone through a lot of changes on what they thought was sacred, and it's turned and twisted around and around and around. And I think the West has a pretty good idea, although a lot of people say it's gone too far. I indeed see a lot of things. I mean, hey, I thought we were too risque with HBO and BS when we were kids, and next thing you know, now we look at that and I'm like, look at what my kids are exposed to, which used to be something, that wasn't supposed to be just, next thing you know, this was popular, right? And that's an Iranian bodybuilder. She was arrested over her photo shoot that she did showing her body. There was another girl in here too. I wanted to show you a picture of what they said she was arrested for. Oh, here's one of the pictures. Iran before 1979. And oh man, let me see if I can get it lined back up. Sorry, let me reload it again. Trying to not do it right. So if you look here, short of me being in front of a Persian temple, this guy's name is Tim. And Tim hangs around and smokes pot with his friends in the late 60s and early 70s. And here's June, right? And this is Linda. And this is Margaret. And she was named after her grandmother. She doesn't like the name. This guy right here, that's Barney. Yeah, and I know there's not a blonde-haired guy in the group. Well, he's brown-haired. Probably was lighter when he was younger. And this is Dave. And look at them. They're hippies. Look at the clothing they're wearing, the clogged shoes, things. I mean, if I was to be able to do the green screen and change the background and put like UC Berkeley behind it, 1979, people, right? So, quite a difference was seen. What is this? Oh, this is one of those ones where they show you, this is what the school kids look like in this area, and they show you that like 88% of them are blonde-haired, and they're all Caucasians. And then in 2015, there were 2 white kids in the school, in the class, not in the school, in the class picture of the same class or whatever, and how ethnicity has been brought to people. But ethnicity is okay in flavors. It's okay to bring your style and your flair. It shouldn't be pushed because you're not coming there because you didn't like what they did. And if you did, then you shouldn't be one of the people that are there with what they did. Here's an Iranian girl, and that looks like Angelina Jolie, people say, or young Angelina Jolie. She does. I don't know if it shows or not, but it looks like this eye is brown and that one's green, which is kind of neat and unique. And yeah, she looks a little Angelina Jolie-ish, a little bit too like, what's that other girl? Oh, hell. People are going to hate me for not picking it out. And she's got thicker lips and stuff, some fuller lips. It just kind of looks like that. Wait, let's see, there's another picture of her. Oh, not so much in that picture. See? So, people say, girls can really twist their looks with a little bit of makeup, hairstyles, flicks, and do things like that. They end up looking quite radically different. I don't know if that's a Persian girl or not. I know I can pretty much believe all the other ones are because it's saying it onto them, Iranian swimsuit model and all these things. So I can't find, there's the Shah of Iran. And shortly after this, you wouldn't have seen her like that either. Then all of a sudden we're in this mode right here, and the women don't have any freedom as far as that aspect goes. People have, and to a lot of the Western world, it looked like people took a step back. And hey, we have enough respect for people to say, well, you took a step back culturally because of your own wants and wishes. Apparently, you need to. I've heard people blame it on the U.S. that because of something doing with the Shah of Iran, that it made them do the thing, that they were headed towards democracy, and then that change was done because of that. And then, like, that's strange because we're kind of the opposite of that concept. If you look what we've been trying to do everywhere, maybe it was a revolt of that and then a backlash. I don't know, but these people are all supposed to be Iranian, and some blonde hair, but I bet that's dyed. But then this lady has red hair effects, and I'm gonna say that this lady and this lady have to be Irish or North English type stuff, and maybe even this lady too. But it doesn't seem like it's really supposed to be, doesn't it? Is traveling in Iran. Maybe it's these people traveling in Iran and they met people. That would make more sense, wouldn't it, everybody? Anyhow, guys, now I'm just dribbling on, and I can't find the one picture I was going to try to show you about the one girl where really she wasn't even wearing anything more revealing than most. Here's a Kurdish woman. She's actually Iranian, but she's a Kurdish woman, and she got into the Miss something beauty pageant. I don't know if it's Miss World. Anyhow, she won. And she's not allowed back in her country without a major penalty, supposedly, onto her and everything. Of course, she's supposedly been here for like fourth generation or something. But beautiful. But yeah, but they don't like that. I don't know. They don't like that women show themselves anymore. It has to be much more conservative. This is pushing it. Oh, they feel like they're pushing it. Hey, watch out there. That type of thing. And it really shouldn't be done in such a way. Although, hey, whenever Caucasians go and visit there, out of respect, a lot of them shawl themselves like we used to in Europe. And so we have that same type of appearance. And we don't offend people like walking down the street in a bikini like an idiot. We try not to do things like that. But strangely, though, back in the 70s, late 70s, here we go, what you had was people going to swimming pools, and you'd see this, and you'd see this. Bam, there's a collage from the video I was doing. Every picture that's in there is in there. Okay, so this probably goes a little deeper than I thought, and who knows where this article hooked all up to in the first place, because this is Asian Town News. So, yeah, maybe people are all wanting to take a little bit of a look at this and go, well, here you were 50 years ago. If you toned it down a bit, don't you think that the Cousin It outfit's pretty bad? I mean, no one's saying that you should do this. No one's saying that. And no one's saying that is acceptable everywhere. Although it's acceptable, it just shouldn't be off in public whenever you have kids on vacation and all these type of things. So you think that you have to be a little bit more modest. Women today, though, especially during their special years, definitely do want to flaunt what they've got, and that makes good sense. Here's a Persian woman who they say looks like, what's her name? Kim Kardashian. And I say, yeah, also, it almost looks like she's had a lip job, maybe even a nose job. A lot of smoothing makeup done on her. They polished this picture and stuff, but I'd say, yeah, she kind of looks like her. She's got that phenotype, definitely, and you see that all through the whole area. Is that her on the left? No, I don't think so. Who are these? So here's another one. This Nassim Pedrad. If y'all know her, she does comedy and all kinds of things. And hello, you know who she is from the shows she was on. Yeah. Oh, she's Middle Eastern women. These are Middle Eastern women. not what you kind of think of whenever you think of Middle Eastern. And I think I've shown a lot of that idea in my videos, where you see a Proto-Indo-European type of look. And we're trying to be a people embracing each other, but it seems like we're having a problem in one culture way or the other. We go to visit them and we'll embrace their culture somewhat, and it doesn't seem to be a cultural appropriation. We're trying to give them somewhat of respect. When they come to America or they come to the UK, if they start dressing in the same way, nobody freaks out. It's whenever they keep their culture and try to press it that almost makes it look odd. And then, the idea, somebody once said, hey, you don't even know if that's a man or a woman under there, and you don't know if they have a bomb or not. And that was said after bad things had happened. But that's, 1 in a million. Well, there are 1 in a millions. There's a lot of church fires here recently, too, and each one of those are 1 in a millions. They started making these cool hijab swimsuits, though, right here. Iranian-style hijab swimsuits. So it really looks, cool. Of course, that's pushing it. They're not totally covering their faces. In some of these cultures, you've actually got to wear the whole ninja mask. So, quite strange. Of different cultures just within themselves and how they feel about it. Oh, here's the other one, not the original one. So there's an Iranian teen, and she did this Michael Jackson thing, I think, and took some pictures of herself. And she shows a little belly there and some arms, and she got arrested. That's her, not made up like this. And she got arrested. Scrabble. And I'll tell you about here. She's using Moeda Hojabri. The videos prompted outrage, and she was arrested. Right? It's just her doing dance things. She wants to be a dancer. And let's see. Has been detained after she posted Instagram videos of herself dancing in a room in Western clothes without a hijab. So, she wants to be a dancer. And she probably needs to not be there if she wants to pursue that. Anyhow, guys, like, share, and subscribe, and enjoy. And, when we come together like this, we can say sarcastic things. And some people don't take comedy too well, but comedy helps with the idea. Imagine how many bikini-clad girls that you can cover with one hijab. A single hijab can help clothe 6 American bikini artists. Right here. So, but, donate your hijab today. Well, we hope that they're generally wearing more clothes than that and stuff, but the edict to keep yourself pale and so on doesn't seem to be a problem with it at all. But during ceremonies, their women used to be in beautiful chiffon, half see-through dresses, showing some skin. No, it's not meant to be overly sexual. It's just meant to be beautiful and a woman to be adored. I don't think they like people adoring their women. Faha Pavli, 1967-1979, Empress of Iran. So actually has quite a bit of class. Just on an instant thought of there. Kind of a burgundy-ish hair. Beautiful tiara. Wearing a mink. Back then it was extremely popular to wear minks. Now that, everybody's all SJW about minks and animal pelts and furs. And it's kind of strange too. I mean, I guess the humanity can go through a lot of weird and wicked changes. I think we do realize that we started off though wearing animal pelts, right? And then the leopard king idea and the concept and the golden fleece and all these things, and we don't necessarily have that no more. So we are so non-primitive now that that's so bad. I don't know. I guess. Well, just killing animals in general, because sometimes we take out all the snow leopards in an area and then there's almost none left. Oh, I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. So what do you do then? Well, you get rabbit fur and you have somebody dye it like a snow leopard. Maybe you just do that out of something that you can do it out of, and still have fur available for people that want fur, but don't go crap ape on fur. But, oh man, I don't want to get all the animal rights activists mad at me either. I'm just giving a little concept here. Your greatest grandfather wore an animal pelt. So did his wife and their boy Elroy. Like, share, and subscribe, guys, and enjoy. Peace.